Hi everyone, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel once again. This is me, your girl, C Concept. Thank you for tuning in wherever you are all over the world. Thank you so much. I love you all. To my return subscribers, I say you're highly welcome. And if you're new here, you're most welcome. But don't forget to press the red subscribe button down below and endeavor to turn on your notification bell for new updates. Today, without wasting much of our time, we shall be making this sleeve on your screen, and this is titled layered flared sleeve. That is, the sleeve is going to have layers of flared on a basic sleeve, okay? And if you want to see the end result, don't change the dye, sit back and watch to the end. Without further ado, let's move on to the working table. Thank you. I'll go ahead now and take the basic measurement for this sleeve, okay? And the basic measurement needed for this tutorial are the length of the sleeve, which is 23 inches from this starting edge down to the hem line of the sleeve. Then I added 1 inch allowance, making 24 altogether. Then the second measurement is the cap height. That is, from this starting point, I will go down by 4 inches and add half an inch to it, making 4.5. Another one is armhole circumference, okay, and the wrist circumference. So those are the basic measurements. And also remember that wherever your cap height stops, there you place your armhole circumference, okay? Right. So let's proceed now and place the measurements. Starting edge, like I said earlier on, I'll go down by 4 inches. I've made series of video where I explain how you can get your cap height. I will leave the link in the description box. Kindly click on it and it will take you there right away, okay? So my cap height for this tutorial is 4 inches. Then I add half an inch to it, making a 4.5. I'll mark it. If you look closely on the picture, because I placed the picture there so that we'll be looking at it as we move on, because this is a requested video and I will be doing same exactly what we have on the picture. If you look closely, you will notice that the first ruffle is coming below the cap height, okay? In that case, I will go down by 3 inches for my first layer. 3 inches. So first layer and second layer will start here. To determine the length of my layer, the first layer I'll give it 5 inches. The second layer will be 2 inches different from the height of the first layer, and that will be 7 inches. So I'll give it again 2 inches. So I'll mark it like this. First layer stops here. Second layer stops here. Look closely again. There's a little gap between the second layer and the third layer. So that gap, I'll give it 1.5 inches. So I'll name it gap. So from where the gap, the line of the gap stops, that will be the line for the third layer. So I will name it third layer starts here. So to determine the length of my third layer, I will mark down 5 inches for the length of my third layer. Below the third layer, where the third layer stops, let me put it, stop. There's another little gap again. I think I'll give that one 1.5 inches as well, while the down part will be for hemming allowance. I'll just mark it out 1 inch. Now we'll go ahead and place the circumference. Now that we have marked out the distance of the layer, this cap height, now I'll place my armhole circumference. The armhole circumference for this tutorial is 14 inches. 14 divided by 2, that will be 7 inches. 7 plus 1 inch allowance, that will be 8 inches. So from this folded edge, I'll go in by 8 inches. And from that 8 inches, I'll look for the midpoint. The midpoint will be around here, which is 4 inches. And from where I have my 4 inches, I'll go up by 2 inches. Okay? So I'll connect this edge, this upper part, I'll connect it to this and connect it to this part where the armhole stops. Okay, let's go. You should be used to this my method now. So that is our armhole circumference. Okay, and to the down part, which is the wrist of the sleeve, I will take the circumference as well. So the wrist circumference, but while doing that, I'll fold in this allowance so that while joining it together, I won't find it difficult to join together. The round circumference of my wrist is 8 inches. 8 inches divided by 2, that will be 4 inches, plus 1 inch allowance, making 5 inches. So from this folded edge, I will go in by 5 inches. And I will connect this armhole circumference to this down part. So that is all about our basic sleeve. So the next thing is to cut it out. The next stage now is to cut out the layers, okay? I mean the flare, okay? And to do that, I will take the width of each layer, okay? The width. The first and the second one is going to start on this line, if you are following me, and I will take it from one edge to the other edge. I will place my measurements like this. I'll take it. I have 15 inches, okay? While the height, I mean the length of the first layer will be 5 inches plus 1 inch to hem it, making 6 inches. Okay, the first and the second layer is going to share same width. Okay, while the length for the second layer, I mean the height, is going to come up from same first one. So I will take it down. That will be 7 inches. Okay, 7 inches plus 1 inch for hemming, that will be 8 inches, okay, for the second layer. And for the third layer, the width is 12 and a half. This is it, 12 and a half, while the length or the height is 5 inches. I will add 1 inch to the height or the length, that will be 6 inches. So I'll go ahead now and place all the width on 6.28, which is the formula for full circle, okay? And that will be 15 inches divided by 6.28. Yeah, because the first flare and the second flare shares same radius, okay, or same width. So I will place both on 6.28, and when I do that, I have a 2.38. Okay, then I will round it up to 2.4 or 2.5. Okay, maybe I will do it 2.5. Okay, if I have excess, I will gather it. For the third layer, the width from this edge to this edge is 12.5. Okay, I think I've done that before. 12.5. Then I will place it on 6.28 as well. Then when I did that, I got 1.9. Okay, 1.9, I will round it up to 2 inches. Okay, so that is the radius for the third layer. I want to cut out the flare now. If you don't want to waste your fabric, all you have to do, you add the height of each ruffle, you add it to the radius. Okay, for instance, the first one, the height is 6 inches, I mean the length, plus the radius we worked out using a 6.28, which is 2.5. So 6 plus 2.5, that will be 8.5. So if you don't want to waste your fabric, all you have to do, you place your measurements Okay, it's 8.5. You multiply it by 2, that will be 17. So from this part, you measure out 17 in a square form, okay, or rectangular form. So from where it stops, you go like this again, you mark out 17 inches again. So from that part again, you come up again 17 inches. Okay, with this you have formed a square or rectangular shape. Okay, so with this you won't waste your fabric. Okay, whatever you get, the length you get, you add it to your radius, then you multiply it by 2, you form a square. Okay, now I'll go ahead and connect it, but I'll make sure they are equal. So I'll take the down part first, 17 inches, which is here. So I'll place it and rule it out. So from there, I'll come up again 17 inches. I'll cut it out. We have our square shape now. Then I'll fold it. Make sure they are equal. Then I'll fold it again. Then we have our square. So this is for first layer. And when you are taking it, this part, you take it, okay? There's an opening here. Don't start from this part. You start from the folded edge here, okay? So I will take my radius. The radius for the first and the second, they are the same, okay? I mean, the first layer and the second layer share same radius, okay? So I will take the first one now, which is a 2.5, as that is 2.5. I will mark it. I don't know if you can see me clearly. So I'll mark it 2.5. So that's the radius for the first layer. Okay, the height of the flare, that is from the radius to the hem of the flare, is 6 inches, including allowance. I'll take that. Exactly what we have here. Okay, so I'll take it round 6 inches. I'll go ahead now and cut it out. Then the radius, and I'll split one side open. So this is the first one, the first flare. Okay, this is how it's going to look after cutting it. So I'll use this and the basic sleeve now and cut out my fabric. Okay, so I will do the same thing on the rest of the flare. I will also cut them out. Okay, so I'll do that right away. So guys, I've cut out my fabric and I've also placed all the markings from the pattern paper on the fabric. And these are the flare. This is the first one, second one, and the third one. So I'll go ahead now and place each on the basic sleeve. So the first thing I will do, I will take the first and the second one. I will spread it out, right side facing up. This is the second flare and this is the first one. I'll place it on it, then give it 1/4 of an inch. I will stitch it around just to secure it. Okay, after securing it, this is how it's going to look now. This is it. So the next thing, I will place it on the basic sleeve. So I'll face it, the right side, facing the right side of the sleeve, like this. I'm placing the radius on the first line. If you have excess, just pleat it inside, okay? When you are done, you flip it down like this. And this for the first and the second layer. This is it. So I'll go ahead and place the third one, right side facing each other, and I'll place it upside down like this. I'll place it on the line and secure it with my pin. So I will flip it down as well. So this is the look now. After done stitching the flare to the basic sleeve, I've also hemmed this down part with 1 inch allowance, as you can see. So the next thing now is to secure the edge of the basic sleeve, okay? And how are we going to do that? I will take each flare and I will align it to the basic sleeve, okay? Like this. Why? Because this will help the flare to remain calm. Let me put it that way. Why, while joining the side seam together like this, okay? Which I've done already, as you can see, okay? I've hold everything down, side seam to side seam. I mean the edge of the flare to the edge of the basic sleeve. So I will now take it to my sewing machine again. I will give it 1/4 of an inch, okay? From this upper part down to this third layer, okay, down to this edge. I will repeat same on the other side. When I'm done, I will now tuck everything in, then fold it like this while the flare will be inside. Then I will now run 1 inch allowance that we left on it from this down part to this. For the edge, you can use your bias strip to tighten it up, okay? You might be wondering, where are the gap we left? By the time you hem it up or you tighten it up with your bias strip, all the allowance we left, all the gap we left will now come to life, okay? I will go ahead and stitch up the sleeve, okay? So let's go, guys. So after stitching everything up, this is how it's looking now. So that is all about the sleeve, and you can now go ahead and attach it to your bodice. I'll go and place it on the mannequin for you to see the look very well.